Hello and welcome to the Build with Air Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a Lego set and to hang out with all of you. I'm going to throw the Bear Cave, the Lego to the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego site emote in the chat. You can use other people's emotes if you'd like to. If you're not a subscriber, you can just say hi. If you want to be a lurker, then you can go ahead and lurk, and that's also okay. But it is nice to see that people are here when they say things in the chat, and then I read those things, and I'm like, oh, cool. We are now currently at 39 out of 50 subscribers. That's right. I would love to get to 40, but let's shoot for 50. Let's fucking go for it. Let's try to be 50 subscribers a month. Let's make that the goal. And if we don't, it's okay. If we do, that's great. Because I think like 20 something is the actual like minimum payout, but I'm shooting for more so I can keep buying model kits and have a backlog that is consistently full of cool options and not just like the stuff no one wants to build, including me, you know? Lashbrook is here, Lord Crashin is here. Hello to both of you. But yeah, also like I want to have a little bit of a nest egg from y'all so that I can do a pre-order from USA Gundam Store or pre-order from Premium Bandai and not feel like, ooh, I'm doing this so I can't buy more kits for right now, so that in the future, Pat will have some cool kits to build. So I'm trying to balance it all out, but you know, like I said, we're at 39 subscribers. Love to get to 50, so we threw that up there. I shut up at 50 until we drop below 50. That's the deal. It's Monday night, so in the second hour, we will be talking about manga and anime. I have two manga to talk about because one of the series is one of those things where like I don't have a lot to say about it. I like it. There's not much to say, so I kind of just want to talk about it and then cross it off my list of manga I haven't talked about yet. And then there's some anime that I'm like, I want to talk about this. You know, Zom 100 didn't have an episode last week. Makes sense why they took an extra week to do it. And then, I mean, I'm always talking about Sweet Reincarnation because it's fine. And we'll update the did pastry cook on this episode? And we'll have the answer to that. And we'll work on a cool Lego set. That's the big thing about tonight's stream is that I got started a little bit on Saturday working on this kit. Do I remember how to say the name of the Jurassic Park? Dilophosaurus. Dilophosaurus is what we're talking about here. The Dilophosaurus. This is the Lego Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus Ambush play set. And we're looking at it right here. We got Dennis. There's Dennis. Dennis is driving his Jeep, trying to get out there with the samples. The Barbasol can is in the set. We will have that can. We have the Barbasol can, so we will set up that Barbasol can, and then we got our dino. Our dino is here. Its mouth can open and close. So we got that. So we're already off to the races. We got a little bit of it done. I said starting. We really started on Saturday, but when I say I'm starting a kit, it intrigues people sometimes more than the third or fourth time that I've worked on it. Like if I work on a master grade and it takes several episodes or streams, sometimes people are less interested because they've already seen me work on it. Sorry, I have an itch behind my ear that is just very frustrating because scratching it doesn't seem to help. So I apologize if you see me do that. That's why. All right. So let's go to the overhead. We've talked too much. We've never shut up. And we'll keep working on this kit. So you can see we got some of our Jeep done here. We got our spots for our wheels eventually. We got the back license plate on. We did one decal so far. We've got several decals to do, but we got one done, and we're just gonna keep on moving on as we work on this. I don't have a full update for you about Elon Musk and his dumb website. I don't have a lot to say about that. there is nothing's been proven. There's conjecture that he is trying to buy a company that has the stock exchange name of X. That is not a tech company. I believe that is a steel company that has X. That is a rumor. That like unsolicited bid went to a company that was not up for sale, which promptly, because they're a publicly traded company, made them suddenly go, well, we're thinking about selling to people and we'll take offers. And of course, that has not been proven to be Elon Musk through a shell company of some sort. But one would imagine that that is something he would do. He would buy an unrelated company just to get that. Or perhaps just try to buy that. Just try to buy X so you can trade on, as X. That would not surprise me. What I can tell you about the website, twitter.com, is that it's not long for this world. And not in general. Not in general, of course. When I say twitter.com isn't long for this world, I don't mean that it's going to eventually be a wasteland of nobody and no one want to use it, which is true. Lord Grant says, I did get a prompt on Twitter trying to get me to subscribe to Blue because I might be missing out on ad revenue, like I'd get anything from that what my tweets get. I also got that. I have gotten that in the past because I was a verified account. So I have gotten messages going, you used to be verified. If you'd like to be verified again, consider getting into X Premium. And I was like, no, I don't want that. So I have gotten both of those things like you did. No, when I say that twitter.com isn't long for this world, I mean specifically the website twitter.com, because X is doing its best to try to give it to you. I don't know if we're going to take it, but X is trying to give it to us. And by that I mean, if you notice, if you go to your app, which says X now, instead of Twitter, if you've updated, it says X. If you go to the Twitter app and you hit copy link because you want to send out, you were like, this tweet's pretty funny. I want to post this in a Discord. I want to post this on. I'm gonna post a link to this on another social media site. I don't want to screen cap on my phone. I'll just do that. It's easier. Let's copy a link. You don't get a twitter.com link anymore. You get an x.com link, which redirects to Twitter. But they're trying to slowly, as inexpensively as possible and as clumsily as possible, eventually migrate from Twitter to X, just completely. Like, the plan eventually is that if you go to twitter.com, it will just automatically redirect you to x.com. Like, that is the goal. It's not Twitter anymore, it's X, so you should be able to go to, or you need to go to x.com, and then eventually you won't be able to. So you said they also embed differently in a worse way. Yes, so that's part of it. Twitter.com isn't embedding properly on like Discord and Reddit and other places that allow for embeds. That's not working properly because of this migration. Part of it is the API changes. So, because they're migrating, VX, you used to be able to put VX Twitter.com and the link, and it would help embed a video. Or FX, it would help embed images if images weren't loading in Discord or other places. Also, if you had like multiple photos and used FX, it basically took like a screenshot of all of them and merged them into one photo, which was convenient for people. Because not every embed worked well. But they've changed how the embeds work because of this migration. It has affected all of the ways that people have gotten around the fact that sometimes when you're trying to embed a video or an image or several images, or an animated GIF, it didn't quite work well on Discord and other places. So yeah, so that's happening as well, but that's part of this whole migration. Um, also, it seems like Twitter might be trying to mess with the way that tweets are sent out and shared, posts are shared. That they might be messing with that in order to try to convince people to use their website. Oh, also, the app doesn't work if you didn't update it. It just stopped working well today. Because people were like, oh, my app's not working. My app's not working. And the commonality between that, beyond the just general issues with redirecting and such like that, is the seemed commonality is that people who don't have automatic updates on their apps, that the old Twitter isn't quite working right for people. So there's that as well. It just generally sucks. You know, it sucks, and there's not a lot you can do about it. I wanted to share with you. So, I was saving this recipe for eventually. The plan was, if I ever did, or when I decided to do again, Baer Prepares, the Pat Baer cooking stream. The idea was that I would do this chicken recipe, this very easy chicken recipe. I had plans that I would be able to do that on stream. But I don't think I'm ever going to do another cooking stream. And if I do, I can still do this recipe. But I made it last night, and I was proud of the results. So I want to share with you Pat Baer's pan-fried chicken, because it is an easy recipe, and there's only one ingredient you absolutely need besides the chicken. Obviously, you need the chicken. And there is one ingredient that you definitely need for this to work, and then others that it would be great if you had them, but you don't necessarily need them. And I figured I'd share it with you because it's a fantastic recipe. This technique I have seen certainly on YouTube, and a old roommate of mine did it as well. I am not creating anything wild here, but I am refining it and making it best for me. So, what are we talking about here? Okay. First things first. You're gonna need some chicken. And the thinner the better, right? So you're not gonna get a big old chicken breast for this. This is not the way to do that. But you can butterfly it, you can cut it in half, cut it in the back and split it open. You could put it in a Ziploc bag and then put it in between like a towel, wrap it in a towel or paper towels, and then hit it with a hammer or a mallet. But you're going to want to pound that chicken flat. You want it to be as thin as possible because you want it to connect with the heat, because this is a quick cooking method. This is going to cook your chicken very quickly. This pan frying method goes out of its way to make sure that you get chicken that is juicy and does not take long to prepare. So that's the first thing. You got to get some chicken cutlets, chicken fillets. But yeah, you can cut them and slice them to make them smaller, to make it easier for you to do what you need to do there. All right, so I need number 2. This is 1. This is 2 here. All right, so we're putting a decal on here. So you've got your chicken. You want that chicken at room temperature. You don't want to do cold chicken, because cold chicken does not like oil, and you're going to be putting this in some amount of oil. So you want to make sure that you've got room temperature chicken. Also, pad that shit dry. Pad the top of it, so you're going to use a skinless chicken breast, a cutlet. Pat that shit dry. You got it dry? Great. Get yourself a bowl. Put in that bowl some amount of flour, white flour. How much? a little more than you need. You kind of have to guess it. You can also, when your mixture, if you are starting to, when you have put your chicken in the flour and you realize, oh shit, I need more flour, add more flour. Just build it up. It's okay. Have the flour ready in case you need to add more to it. But in that bowl, primarily flour. That's the one ingredient you need for this that is not the chicken, right? You need chicken, you need flour. You can put other stuff in that flour. I love putting salt, a little bit of pepper. Because we're going to be putting this in oil, we're going to pan fry this chicken. You don't want to put a lot of black pepper on there because black pepper burns. So you might want to season it with pepper after you're done, not before. But so you throw some salt in that flour. You could use garlic salt. You could use garlic powder. I like paprika because it's going to give it a little bit. Not so much paprika that you're coughing, but a little bit. Cayenne pepper could be great in there. You've got a lot of options. You can do what you want to do with that. You could just use none if you don't want to use any. So yeah, salt, paprika, garlic powder, maybe Italian seasoning, a little bit of pepper, but not too much pepper. Again, you don't want to use too much pepper in that. Put that all together, mix it up thoroughly, and then get your pan. You don't need to use the biggest frying pan in the world here, right? But you don't need a Dutch oven. You can use any kind of frying pan that takes oil well. No sweat at all. So you get yourself your pan. Here's people will argue about this shit a lot, right? This is my method. You don't like this method? That's okay. Heat the pan before you put oil in the pan. Some people like to put oil in and then heat up the oil with the pan. I like a hot pan, medium heat pan. Then I like adding my oil, and then I like seeing the oil heat up before I put my chicken in. So I'm putting this pan on. I'm going to splash a little water on that pan, like a drop of water in that pan. See how it reacts. See about the heat. You got to do it by feel. I believe in you. You can do it. All right. Then you add your oil. A neutral oil, not extra virgin olive oil. You want to use vegetable oil. You want to use, I guess you could use like peanut oil. Yeah, if you wanted to. I think vegetable oil is the best there. You're not going to use cooking spray. You got to use oil. You got to use oil. But yeah, I would say vegetable oil is probably the way to go there. Canola oil, maybe. I guess you could do. I don't know. So you got your oil. You got your neutral oil there. Not your fancy olive oil. Anything like that. Use your neutral oil. Heat that oil up. Then you're going to take your chicken, which you've patted out, which you've flattened out as best you can. Use a fork. Use gloved hands. Use your hands and wash them thoroughly after. Whatever you want to use for that. I like using a fork. I don't know why. I just like that. Get your chicken. Put it in your flour mixture. Coat it on both sides. Try to get a good even coating. Pick it up. Shake it a little bit because you want to get a little bit of the excess off. Place it on your pan on the heat. Now, you're going to wait. You're going to put all your chicken in. Do it for all your chicken. Then you're going to wait 3 minutes. Just 3 minutes before you do anything else. The one thing you can, while you're doing that, you can do two things. While you're waiting for these 3 minutes to transpire. After about a minute, you can move the chicken in the pan so it is not being stuck. You can. If you're looking at this chicken and saying, shit, this actually isn't as thin as I would like, you can take a big ass spatula and press the chicken down to try to get more even distribution of chicken onto the pan. You could do that. You could try to flatten it a little bit while it's in the pan. And then, about a minute before, so 2 minutes in, a minute before you flip, you're going to take using your fork, you're going to take some of the flour that you didn't use, that shook off or that you didn't use, and you're going to put that flour, even though you already floured it, you're going to put more flour on the top of the chicken before you flip. Now, why are you doing that, Pat? Well, because the heat and the cooking process and the oil has started to cook some of that flour or pull that flour away. So if you didn't do that, when you flipped it over, it would be kind of like unfloured chicken. Too much of that would be hitting your pan and would stick to the pan. So you want to add a little bit more flour while you're doing that. You add a little more flour, you get that looking nice and ready to go. Then you're going to flip both of those pieces of chicken over, and you can press them down again if you really want to try to get that, even heat. About a minute in, because you're only going to do this again after you flipped it, 3 minutes. That's it, 3 more minutes. 6 minutes of cook time total. You're doing chicken in 6 minutes because it's thin and because you're hitting it with a good amount of heat and you're cooking it through. Now, the second, after the flip, you got to move that chicken in the pan every minute or so because there's now a lot of flour in the pan mixing with the oil. And the flour is going to stick to the pan, and that chicken is going to stick to that now kind of burning flour. So you want to make sure you move things around. And after 3 minutes, you've got a bunch of pieces of chicken in there. It's time to take them out. No, it isn't. You want to cut into one of them. While they're still cooking, while they're still in the pan, you want to get a knife, you want to cook, you want to open up at least one of them. That's the sacrificial one. That's the one you flip over so people don't see the cut when you're taking your photos for Instagram. That's the one that goes on the bottom. Of course it is. It's the side you left on, in the beginning. So it's okay. You got one sacrifice because you want to make sure that it's thoroughly cooked through. So you want to cut into the thickest of any of the chicken that you've been preparing. Take them out. Put them on a wire rack, put them on paper towels, put them directly right onto the plate because you're going to get the juices, right? That comes out of it when you cut into it. But it's not like a steak where you really need to let it set. So you can just eat this right as it is. You can slice it into thin slices and put that over rice, or put a curry on top of it. Do you need barbecue sauce on the side? Nah. Do you need any kind of condiment on the side? Not really. It's good as it is because this is not a dry chicken. That is the reason we're doing all of this. While we're pounding it thin, while we're picking thin cuts, why we are pan frying it in flour. The whole goal is that we want well cooked chicken that is seasoned and tasty and juicy and makes your mouth water and smells incredible. And look, is the cleanup annoying? Yeah, because you got oil in a pan and you got a bunch of flour, and then you got also the flour left in your bowl and you got to dispose of that. And it's just like, it's annoying. Hey, poaching chicken is so much fucking easier than this, but it takes longer. And sometimes sometimes it's too dry, even poached. This will not fully replace your preferred chicken method because I bet it's the easiest way to do chicken. But I will say this. It's fucking great. It might just be the best chicken you've ever made. Put that out on there. Put that out on there. I may have told you the recipe for the best way to do chicken at home. Yeah, on a grill it's going to be good. Slathered in barbecue sauce, sure. Baked in the oven, sure. And again, I would do this with fillets. I wouldn't do this with chicken breast. That's why when you think of dry chicken, you're thinking of putting it at 350 for a half an hour, in the oven with some sage and whatever, or like shake and bake. That's the chicken you're thinking of that's dry as hell. I'm not talking about that, right? But I'm also not talking about high heat in oil, high reward baked chicken thighs where you beat them to hell and they are crispy and unbelievably good. And it's a fucking shame that I'm not eating chicken thighs right now. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like chicken fillets and how you can make them at home and they taste incredible. So that's my recipe. I made those last night. Around this house, uh, I am the least likely to cook for other people in my family. Simply because my mom just takes it upon herself. She is the primary cook, input from us, but she is doing most of the work herself. My dad has his recipes and he does his recipes. And then if there's a reason for me to be cooking, it's generally me cooking for myself. And I think I have done this version of, I have done Pat Baer's pan fried chicken enough times that my mom was finally like, hey, you and I are going to have chicken tomorrow. Will you make that? This was over the weekend. And I was like, you know what? Sure. I will 100% do that. I will do it with a smile. Mom works very hard to keeping this house in a stable shape. And I'm grateful for my parents' continued support of me during all of my bullshit. So the least I can do is on occasion make some chicken. And it turned out great. Turned out fucking fantastic last night. So I was very pleased. And I realized I haven't done it on stream. And then I was like, oh yeah, I also could just talk about it. I don't have to wait for if I get inspired to do a cooking stream again, which is so much. I get asked that on occasion about cooking streams and why I have not done the one again. While my VOD views for those are actually pretty good, my live views are less than a normal Tuesday stream where I am playing a video game. And that's okay. I can't make people watch what I do. I'm grateful for people that do. I'm thrilled that people want to spend some time with me hanging out while I do stuff. Be it video games or model kit building, I'm grateful. But having said that, if nobody's here and I'm playing a video game, that was so little setup. And it's fine. If nobody's here and I am cooking in my kitchen, so much shit had to happen for that to work. I've talked about this before. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but we're talking setup, moving my computer and monitors into my kitchen, clearing off space for that, moving extension cords and plugs, getting an overhead camera set up and a camera for me. And then I have to do that at night because of the lighting, because I have to know what the lighting's going to be like. So I set up and then I have to reset it, or I have to set up the night before. So I do all that. Then there's also all of the prep that goes into recipe, figuring out what I'm going to do in that time. What can I do that's either on the burner or off the burner? What are simple things I can do, or complicated things I can do? Can I communicate all of the steps involved? I just knocked over a Lego piece that I need right here. So hold on. I'll be back in a second. Hold on. All right, hold on. Coming back. Here we go. Okay. I should have. One of these days I'll make a be right back screen. It won't take long for me to do. I should do that. I just go to the pre-screen, but whatever. So I have to do my recipes and figure out if I can do it within the time. And also, if I am making a recipe, I then also have to eat the thing that I made, because I often, if I am in the kitchen like that, is because my folks are out of town and I am available to be in there. So that means that, like, if I make a meatloaf that serves 4, then I have to eat a lot of meatloaf. And the meatloaf that I made is very good. Turns out I made sausage balls on a stream and I didn't love those. I think they turned out good, but I didn't particularly enjoy them. And I just had sausage balls. And I was like, well, hopefully I'll learn to love these. I think they were fine. I found some ways to cook them that wasn't bad, but I was like, yeah. So there's a lot of bullshit that goes into cooking streams, which is why to do all that bullshit, which I'm happy to do, but then have less people there than if I played a Pokemon randomizer, it's not demoralizing, but it makes me go, oh, I'm not going to keep doing this. Now, if I ended up getting one of these HelloFresh things, right? If my application for the HelloFresh people actually went through and they sponsored a stream, you bet your ass I'm going to do a cooking stream, because that's a different fucking story. If I'm getting some sort of promotional benefits to doing it, of fucking course I'm going to do that shit then. But that's not the case. That has not been the case. So the next time I do a cooking stream will most likely be because there's a financial incentive for me to do it beyond just wanting to do it, mainly because, as I said, it's just a fucking pain in the ass. So you won't see me do Pat Baer's pan-fried chicken on a stream, but you do get the benefit of me telling you about it and how I think it's great. And hopefully, hey, let me know if you make it. Next time you got some chicken, if you make it my way, let me know. It's nothing revolutionary. It's just fucking good. And if you've only had dry chicken in your life, it's kind of fantastic. It's kind of unbelievable if you've only had the fried variety or the really dry variety at home. All right, so we got to put these on here. This is, we're working on our step up here to get into the vehicle. So we're putting that together there. We did have stickers on here. We got some decals going, so working on that. But yeah, that's it. I know a few people that have done my meatloaf recipe, and I've always enjoyed hearing people do that. And somebody tried my mac and cheese recipe and really fucked it up, and that's a shame. But yeah, made a few things on there that I was happy about. All right, so we're gonna do this, but we're doing it on the other side. All right, are there other things we can chat about tonight? Oh, there's the whole fucking thing. I have not seen a good write-up of this yet anywhere, so we'll look at this. But we can get in some wrestling bullshit from Fightful. So what's going on here? There's a bunch of bullshit happening in AEW, and that's not new. It's gonna get, this was Fightful Select reporting, and there's been a lot of coverage about this on social media and stuff, and a lot of people reacting to it very positively. No, basically, if you're unaware, at a certain point, shit got weird backstage in AEW, and by shit I mean CM Punk, which led to an altercation with him and some EPs from the company, and led to him being away and somebody being, probably let go, but then not let go. And then basically the way I like when a CM Punk's, when a wrestler's real name trends instead of their ring name. Yes. So basically a bunch of bullshit happened with Punk. He came back, but he came back with his own fucking show, basically. Now, is Collision the CM Punk show? No, but there are people who are exclusive to Collision that we knew would be exclusive to Collision. And then there's other stuff that, there are people who are apparently, yes, he also, because he didn't lose his belt, he was stripped of it. But he came back with that belt saying that he never lost it, and it's the real championship, and you can put that in quotation marks, but why? Because they acknowledge it as a... Here's the thing about that belt. He defended it, and they didn't treat it like a joke, which makes it authentic, and that's the worst. I wish that they had been like it was just it's a one-on-one match. And he'd be like, it's for the title. And they were like, sure it is. But it's not recognized. Now it's semi-recognized, which is dumb. But anyway, our boy Punk wants unity in the locker room. Reminder, this is the split locker room where some people aren't allowed to perform. So he wants unity in that locker room. He doesn't want any bullshit. He wants it to be a low-drama situation, even though the bitch loves drama. So his solution to that is to say that some people are not welcome there. So, hey, it's AEW. They've got a bunch of stuff they need to do. They want to film something with Hangman Adam Page. Well, he can't come in the building the Collision is taping out of. You know, if he wants to do something, he can do it in another location, but he can't be in the building. That doesn't breathe unity. And again, he is unity, I'm saying sarcastically, because what the fuck are you talking about? You're saying that for unity, the people you don't like can't be in the building when you're there. So no, he can't be there. Ryan Nemeth is going to do a dark match or Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor tapes before Collision. They have dark matches to warm up the crowd. No, not Ryan Nemeth. See, because one time, Ryan Nemeth tweeted a mean thing about CM Punk. So he's a shit stirrer. And did they have a meeting? Did Punk ask for talent relations to talk to him? Or did Punk approach one of the producers of the shows, or a backstage locker room leader like Arn Anderson or something, to be like, hey, we should probably have a talk with, like, let's have a talk with Ryan, right? Like, Ryan and I should have a conversation because I want to know where he stands on stuff. No, instead, he tracked Ryan down, got in his face, and threatened him. And then he decided that Ryan Nemeth can't work in AEW on a Saturday. If Punk is there, Ryan Nemeth is not welcome. Again, want to be specific about this. That's just CM Punk is an employee. He's just an employee. Now, yes, they built a show around him where he's in multiple storylines because Samoa Joe wants to fight him again for some reason. And he's going with FTR for the trios titles. And Ricky Starks wants another shot at him. And all this other stuff. And it's just like, he's the most popular belle at the ball. And of course he is. And it's great. And everybody's riding the train. And everybody's having a good time. Unless CM Punk perceives you to be on other people's sides and not on his side for a conflict that only he fucking cares about. So, his friend, who he got a job in AEW, he has to work from home because he shouldn't be around people. He should be fired, but whatever. So that means, that producer, the head of talent relations for AEW, that guy shouldn't be allowed in the building when I'm here. Because he's friends with the people that CM Punk doesn't like, who are executive vice presidents for the company. It's unbelievably petty and nonsensical and sad. It's just ridiculous. Oh, also, on Saturday, a lot of this reporting kicked off because on Saturday, and this reporting, you can take with a grain of salt as much as a little as you want, right? You can listen to people who are saying like, well, actually the locker room is literally, you'd be like, the locker room is actually like pretty on his side. The Collision locker room full of people that he knows supports him, and no one else. Or people who want to stay neutral as much as possible because they just want to fucking work and do a job. And aren't too friendly with the people that he hates. But on Saturday, off air, but certainly recorded by a lot of people, he just saw in the crowd a sign for Adam Page, who has said nothing publicly. Adam Page, in one promo a while ago, said something that CM Punk didn't like. Shots fired. The fucking pipe bomb man got real sensitive about something that Adam Page said. And on another show where Page wasn't there, called him out to come out, unscripted, not on the docket, to humiliate him. And then, again, in front of an audience, some of whom were booing, which is great because they were like, fuck off, CM Punk, decided to shoot on Adam Page for no reason. They're not in a storyline together. Again, CM Punk is in 3 storylines. on the Super Show, his show. Yes, he's also in his 50s. He's a grown-ass man. That is just, again, he loves this drama. He loves being the victim and being the martyr and all this shit. Like, and then some people were like, you know, there's so many defenders of him and his horrid behavior. They're like, well, there must be more to this story. And I'm sure there is, but I don't think the more to this story is like gonna benefit him. It's just gonna be like more bullshit. And people were like, well, you know, we've read reports that Christopher Daniels isn't a good head of talent relations. Great. Then CM Punk should talk to Tony Khan about that. But that's him being bad at his job is not the reason that Christopher Daniels isn't welcome on Collision. It's because CM Punk doesn't like him. The major point of all of this shit, all of this complaining about him and all of this is, it sucks because there are people I like who are on Collision that I would like to see wrestle, because that's all I want to do is watch people wrestle. Like Willow Nightingale is primarily on Collision. I like to see Willow. Willow rules. The House of Black are primarily now on Collision. I really like to see the House of Black. They're a fantastic trio of wrestlers. I would like to see them. Miro is there. Ricky Starks. Will Hobbs. Like, there are a lot of people that are there that I think are fantastic wrestlers and I would like to see more of. And then also, it's the Samoa Joe, of course. It's the CM Punk show. And I don't want to see the CM Punk show. Matt Hardy, I believe, is also not welcome due to personal animosity. Again, this is just assumed. Like, the man is so shallow that he's just like constantly afraid that like people are going to shoot on him or that people are going to like rally the locker room against him. And also, of course, these reports that are coming out of people, right? All of this stuff is, of course, put in there to make him look bad. Again, this is the man that decided, hey, I have a microphone for no reason because no one's talking about this. I'm just going to insult a guy. I'm just going to insult a beloved figure in the locker room just because, like, I don't know, I can. It's just unbelievably childish and shitty. And it's like, hey, I'm sorry that you have a match at All In, the biggest show in AEW history, one of what will probably be the biggest show in your company's history that you're a part of. And I'm sorry that the match you have booked isn't exciting at all and no one gives a shit about because they've already seen you fight Samoa Joe before and you just have a boring match that like will be fine, but I just saw and it ended cleanly. I don't need to see it again. What do you do when you know no one can do anything about it? Yeah, that's the thing, right? Because the buck stops with Tony Khan. Tony Khan is like, because also there's a night coming up. Because All Out is a Saturday show, they're not going to do Collision live. They're going to tape Collision. They're taping Collision after Dynamite. So in between All In and All Out, there's a night where most of the roster will be in the same building. What the fuck happens there? You're just going to hope that good vibes like carry through and that nobody decides, hey, I need to fucking talk to you about this shit, Tony. Who knows? But yeah, there's nothing that can be done about it because he's already proven that he is above the law. Yes, also part of the thing he insulted Paige about was his action figure sales because Punk sells a lot of merchandise because he's an old man with a lot of history and people are psyched about that shit. You know. So, hey, Punk has got a shirt, a version of his shirt that he is selling that is supporting the Trevor Project, and it is one of his classic shirts, but in trans colors, and that fucking rules. That's incredibly awesome. But you know someone else was pitching that idea, and they were like, well, this will make Punk happy because then you get to say he's a big supporter. And there's a good enough, like, obviously I have no facts for this, but my gut tells me, my gut, in my heart of hearts, my gut tells me that he's doing it because he didn't want Kenny to do it. Because he's seen Kenny Omega on TV with a audience members support trans kids sign, and Kenny went viral for bigging up that sign. And you know that's part of the reason why this happened for Punk. You're like, oh, hey, give me one of them like goodwill things. Let me do that. Like, you just know. Lashbrook, I totally respect it and understand why you're done with it. There's still wrestlers at AEW that I enjoy. The same reason why I watch SmackDown. There's still wrestlers there that I like. There are less and less as they go in. A lot of people go and do indie stuff. I really should just, I guess, watch Ring of Honor weekly. Just pay $10 a month to watch Ring of Honor because a lot of my favorites are at Ring of Honor, which is frustrating for different reasons, but that seems to be the real. And I would prefer to not have to do that, but that seems to be what's up. But yeah, I mean, it's frustrating because I think that company showed a lot of promise. Like, hey, having your main events, the last couple main events be women's matches is great. That does not excuse the poorly booked women's division. But it's cool. It's fun. It's still a very poorly booked division. Where, God forbid, you have more than one match that feature women on it. God forbid. They made a tournament to decide who was going to be at All In. And one of the tournament entries was a bye. And one of the tournament entries was a match they had already booked. They were just like, they retroactively made one of the matches they had already booked that. Because like when they're like, oh, we're going to have a tournament and it's going to start tonight. I was like, wait, they're going to be 2 women's matches on one AEW show? No. WWE has a lot going wrong with it. It's got a lot of shit in there. The one thing they do have is multiple women's matches on a show. Like, yeah, Raw's 3 hours, but we're still going to have something with like both. There are women in WWE that have a storyline that doesn't involve a belt. That's just about personal beef. AW doesn't have that. AW kind of has that because the Outcasts are angry at a lot of ladies, but they also want to get a belt back. And then over on Collision, there is a belt. Wait, did I do this wrong? I did this wrong. This should be centered. It's like, well, there's a tag team. There's 2 women in a tag team fighting 2 other women that are in a tag team. But one of those 2 women, one of those 4 women, has the belt. And that's the storyline. So it's not even that. It's just, yeah. AEW's women's division has always had so many great people, such incredible talent, and no one at the top of... I mean, Kenny Omega for a while there was working on it, but that's not the case anymore. Tony Khan doesn't give a shit. Tony Khan wants great women's wrestlers to be paid by him, to be in a company, to not do anything. It's just... At this point, it's like, well, Emi Sakurai gets to have a green card, or work visa, I should say, and that's cool. But she doesn't fucking wrestle anymore, and she's great, and it's a shame you don't have her fucking wrestling. It's like, all right, I guess not. Guess you just Pay her to not wrestle. Cool. Sucks. A lot of it sucks. I've been watching so much Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, and like, if you talk to some Joshi fans, you talk to some wrestling fans, that's not even quote unquote the good Joshi promotion. That's not even the good women's wrestling promotion. For a lot of people, that's the better one is Stardom. But the weirdest wrestling happens on Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. They had a 8 women's match, 4-on-4. With the stipulation, because it's the hottest summer on record. It's hot everywhere. It's very hot in Japan. Somebody came up with the idea, and I think it's a brilliant fucking idea. So here's their big play. It was a match where, to get in the ring, to be eligible to be tagged and compete in the match, you had to eat shaved ice. Like a container of shaved ice. You had to finish a container of shaved ice, and then you could be in the match. And there was one that was very small, easy to eat. It already had melted under the lights, basically. And then one that was fucking huge. And so you had like, somebody like eating some shaved ice and like as fast as they could. And then there were a couple people that were like clearly taking their time because like didn't really matter to them. The girl that got the most, Palm, who I love, she finally finished all of hers because her team really needed it. And then she didn't get up on the ring apron. Instead, she tried to go to the back because she had to go to the bathroom because she had eaten so much shaved ice. And then she got in the ring and did one move and then had brain freeze because she had eaten so much shaved ice. And it's one of those things where like, this is stupid as fuck. But it was very fucking funny, and I was super into it. And it was still a very competent, well-executed match. There's a whole tournament, the cup. They do it at a tournament every year for the Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling Princess Cup, because their titles involve the word princess. And the winner, Miyu Yamashita, had been in all 10 of them. This was her 10th of 10 events, and she had never won. She won this year. So she had 9 losses and 1 victory in this tournament. And it was cool. A lot of people were rooting for Kamifuku, Yuki Kamifuyu, who is Kamiyu. We're hoping that Kamiyu was going to pick up the victory because she had a really strong showing throughout the tournament and had a couple upsets, 2 big upsets to make it to the finals, but did not pull off the victory, but looked great in it. And sometimes you don't have to win. Sometimes you just have to be there and have a strong showing. And she had a fucking really strong showing. So big ups to both of them. Those finals were great. I think both sets of semifinals were awesome. Really promoting their next big pay-per-view, or event, their next big event, I should say, coming up, which will also have Maki Ito versus Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose making her, I believe, 2nd appearance in Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. That fucking rules. Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling is very, like, up with it and cool with seeing non-binary folks and trans folks just on the card. No big deal. Their last big, one of their last big events had 2 trans women and a non-binary person on the card. And that's fucking awesome. And occasionally dudes. There was a masked comedy wrestler at a show last week that fought Aja Kong in a stiff comedy match, which is fantastic. This motherfucker did a PowerPoint presentation about how strong he is and about how he understood the thing that he needed to do to stop Aja Kong, which was to wear a helmet under his mask, which was really just a big bowl. But he wore a big bowl under his mask so that when Aja Kong hit him with a small trash can, which is her thing, she's got a little trash can she hits people with now, that it didn't hurt. That was his big plan. And then, I think I might have talked about this on stream, but whatever. At one point, he was ready to quit. He didn't want to do the match anymore. So he ran out into the tech area to make it so that music played as if the show was over. Which I think is, which more people, somebody else should steal, because that is a brilliant fucking idea. Just be like, oh, no, can't do it. Show's over. Bye, everybody. They're playing music. Good night, everyone. I think that is fucking brilliant. But yeah, hey, if you like wrestling and you are sick of dumb American wrestling, nonsense bullshit American wrestling, and you want to change, you want to try something different, Wrestle Universe has a free trial. Wrestle-universe.com. Cyberfight owns it. They own. You get Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, Pro Wrestling Noah, DDT, and Ganbare. So you get 4 wrestling promotions, 2 of which are very active, 1 of which is somewhat active, and 1 of which is a little extra thing. Lots of English commentary on everybody's big shows, so you can do that. But again, you get a free trial. You should check it out just to watch some different kind of cool wrestling. And also you have the benefit of, simply put, you have the wonderful benefit of, like, it being so cheap. It's like $7 a month for a whole lot of fucking wrestling. Totally worth it. We're not done here, but we're getting close. We got the Jeep, and then we've got the little, like, area here where the Barber Soul can and all that. We got a little can here. It's already screen printed, so I don't have to do it, which is great. But we'll continue to work on this kit because we're almost Jeep complete here. But first, a pause for the cause. I'm going to talk to you about ways you can support the channel. I'm going to get through this liquid fast because we have not had a lot of people here tonight, which is okay. It happens. I get it. And I assume that most of the people that are here, y'all know what's going on. You have watched the streams previously. Hey, Dirty. But first and foremost, like Dirty just did, you can throw the Baer Cave, the Lego, the site, the tier 2 blue emote if you are a subscriber. Subscribing is the easiest way to support what I do here through cash money, $5 a month, or your Prime gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime, linked with your Twitch, you get that token. You can use it for anybody. Why not use it for me? Or gifting us subs. Like Bobby Dice Roller did. Bobby gifted 5 subs this month, top of the gift sub leaderboard. We are currently at 39 out of 50 subscribers. The goal is to get to 50. We're hoping by the end of the month we hit 50. If we don't, it's also okay. But that'd be nice. And then always bits and coins appreciated. Harold is the top of our cheer leaderboard, which we appreciate as well. There are other ways to support what I do here. Patreon at patreon.com/PatBaer. The $1, $3, $5, and $10 tiers. Different rewards for different tiers. Check out my Patreon. You might find something there that appeals to you, that makes you go, yeah, I want to get in on this. My YouTube channel, you can subscribe to my YouTube for free. Or, while you're at my YouTube, if you wanted to, you could become a member. Hey, what? I'm going to... YouTube.com/PatBaer. Bunny Fiend just gifted 100 subscriptions. So I'm going to fucking take a second about that. So throw the Baer Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Because the Bunny Fiend just broke my all-time sub record by 36. My all-time subscriber record was 103, and we just did that in July. At the beginning of July, we had the most I've ever had, and now we have 139 subscribers. Hey, I'm going to leave these numbers up for a little bit because I want them to stay there. You may best know the Bunny Fiend as somebody that supports Patreon tiers at a high level. You may remember Bunnyfeed as somebody you've heard the name of as like Nextlander. Thanks. Or Brad and Will made a tech pod, or various other podcasts you may have listened to in the larger Whiskey Media Friends collective that has grown way beyond that. The greatest legacy of Whiskey Media is the friends we made along the way. But yeah, I'm not gonna say all 100 names. That would be bonkers. I'm gonna look to see if. Okay, great. Kumahara, my buddy Ian got one. Great. I'm just gonna like Delta got one. That's lovely. Regizzle got one. That's great. Cosmic Fly, excellent. A Delta Head will love that. Because they're just wonderful. Lysandus, we like to see that. Brinty got one. I think a lot of people who came like to my last like subathon, probably my birthday subathon, probably got in there. That's nice. Yeah, there's a lot of people who were being like, oh yeah, Bald Ridge, we love to see that. Poco, great. My buddy John got one. Love to see that. Lapis Feather, that's just a good name. Again, I'm not going to go through all this. Ironhide the Fourth, excellent, great. Wonderful. Now it's the end of the Nextlander podcast. It is. I'm not. Fuck you. I'm not sorry. Fuck me. I'm not sorry. I'm bewildered. Completely bewildered. Because that's a lot. That's a lot of money, Bunny Fiend. That's just like a lot. Hey. That's just like a lot of money, and I don't know what to do about that. Here's what I'll do. We'll do this. Let's see. This is what we can do. A thing I've never done before. Great. Pat Baer just gifted 1 month tier 1 sub to Bunny Fiend. Thanks, Pat Baer, for gifting a sub to the community. My number went up because I think other people might have I've never done that. I've never gifted a sub to this channel before. But Bunny Fiend gifted 100 subs. What am I supposed to fucking do? And then also, somebody must have renewed their subscription too, because we also went up to 140. So we went from like 137 to 140, and I only gifted 1 sub. So I don't know what the fuck is going on. But 140 is now my record, which is a good number. But yeah, also my name is now in the gift sub leaderboard, which is hilarious. Hey, Pat Baer, thank you so much for that gifted sub. We really appreciate it, Pat. Yes, my gift bumped from 139 to 140, but we were at 137, which means also people just renewed their subs just willy-nilly, or it took a second to process, but either way. Oh, you're right, because we were at 39 before, so we went to 139, and I read that as 137. It didn't register to 139. I bumped it up to 140. Whatever. We hit our goal. I have websites. You could go to them. I don't know. Direct donations, you could do that. That's another way to support me. What the fuck am I... No, the numbers went up so much that my brain broke. Also, there's not a lot of people watching live, which is fine. It happens. But it's so fucking funny that on a night where I'm like, oh, cool. A second there, we were at 11 viewers that were at like 140. Well, I don't have to talk about reaching my sub goal for a while. We'll get rid of that because that's just weird to look at. In the show description of this, you can find all the links to things. I am going to put up my Amazon wish list here because I want to talk about that. Because right now I have a good amount of stuff in my backlog, but I'm always looking to have more kits. If you want to decide what I build next, the best way to decide what gets built on the stream is to buy it. Because if you buy from my Amazon wish list, then I gotta build it on my own. They fixed it. Amazon finally fixed the wish list. I can now reorder it by price. So I'm gonna have to do that. I'll do that before the next stream because it wasn't working this afternoon, but it is working now. So you can now buy stuff. I assume you can also buy stuff there. Yes. So it looks like you can also buy things. So yeah, you see something in there you'd like to see me build, you can buy it. We got inexpensive kits, expensive kits, kits that never go on sale. Okay, that went through good. A bunch of different stuff. Some really easy. I do want to point out the tropical parrot. They put the age minimum on there of 6 years, and for whatever reason, they also included 99 max. If you are 100 years old, don't you fucking dare try to build this Lego parrot. Tropical parrot 3-in-1. It's just a bag kit. 101-year-olds. Don't fucking try to build that Lego set. What are you talking about? That's not for you. Anyway, there's a bunch of kits in here. A bunch of different prices. I'd be happy to build anything there. And there's also a bunch of gear. And if you see some gear, you might want to buy that instead. I don't know. Again. Yeah, Fat Scout. Hi. The Bunny Fiend on I know the Bunny Fiend from podcast support, but Bunny Fiend here on Twitch gifted a bunch of gift subs all at once. And it's wild. So yeah, you got a gift sub, Fat. So enjoy your gift sub. And also, hi and welcome. Let's get back to building here in a second. I got a Discord. Join my Discord. We'll say that. Let me share a couple video links, then we'll get back to working on this Lego. I'm going to talk about some manga and some anime. Today I put up a new episode. Now people will return to figure out what just happened. Yeah, they'll be like, hey, why was I gifted a sub? I haven't been to Pat's stream in a while, which is fine. I'm fine with that. But yeah, although we have a bunch of people being like, what? Hey, Pat Bear's Anime Club. If you haven't checked out Pat Bear's Anime Club, I put a new episode up today recommending stuff that came out earlier in the year in 2023 because maybe you missed out on a fun series. I talked about some romantic comedies and some slice of lifes, and only half of my recommendations are isekai. And then I did something at the end of the video I've never done before. I immediately told you what the next video was going to be, which ties into the video that I just made. So in 2 weeks, excuse me, my next video will be directly because of the video that I put up today. And then Baerly Rehearsed is an ongoing video series where every week I write and perform a comedy piece to the best of my ability, having rehearsed it at least a couple times. So check out the one, this last one. There'll be a new one coming up on Wednesday. But this one was me doing a news report called Local News with Danny Local. I can tell you that I rehearsed the one that you're going to watch that goes up on Wednesday. I can tell you damn straight that I practiced the shit out of that because I had to keep recording it because a thunderstorm happened. And I was like, oh, I think the thunderstorm passed. Let me record again. And then it started again. And the last take might have a little bit of thunder, but I think I managed to work on the sound of that. But I was just like, fuck it. I don't care. We're hearing a lot of we're gonna hear a lot of cool, dumb sounds because if we have to. So I know that one's rehearsed. So check that one out. All right, we're gonna talk about some manga and talk about some anime. I have to drink some water. And hey, it's evening time, and maybe you need to take your meds. It might be meds time as well. So we'll do that. And then we're going to dramatically transition back to the overhead shot, keep working on this Lego set, and then, we'll keep going. Let's do that right now. Dramatic. 140. That's wild. That's nonsense. Take that away. We don't have to look at that. Lord Crasher wants me to the dance button. Sure, I'll hit the dance button. I'm going to drink a little bit more water when I hit this dance button right now. That's not a good idea. Okay. So One thing I do want to point out, this might be the first time I've ever built a Lego vehicle that had an extra tire, because normally I'm building like race cars or futuristic vehicles, but I don't think I've ever built a Lego car that had a spare of any kind of Lego vehicle that had a spare. So that's weird. I like it, but it's weird. So yeah, we're gonna throw a tire here on the back. Boom, there we go. We got our spare tire, which is great in case I lose one of them, I guess. All right, let's talk about some manga first, and then we'll talk about some anime. I got two shows to talk to you about. Or two books, I should say, not shows. I got two shows to talk to you about later. When I reincarnated, I was a soldier, question mark, exclamation point. A man called the Red Shinigami. And also we'll talk about a story about a burgeoning love at a convenience store. So when I reincarnated, I was a soldier. A man called the Red Shinigami was canceled. You might not even have occurred to you that might happen. Hey, Shed Shillis, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Welcome aboard. Hey, sometimes manga gets canceled. It got canceled after 10 chapters. So, and it was a decent enough end. I will say that. Obviously, I'm not going to say we are doing some Lego building. We are working on a Lego set here. Working on the oh god, why can't I ever pronounce it the first time? I'm looking up my pronunciation guy. Dilophosaurus, the Dilophosaurus set from the first Jurassic Park movie. Gonna run into a Dilophosaurus right there. So yeah, we're building a cool Jeep, and then we'll build a little bonus set as well. And we're talking about a manga that just as I said, it was canceled and it is just over. 10 chapters. It did have a conclusion. It felt very rushed. There is a fight in it towards the end. Again, I'm not going to go deep in spoilers about this, but there was a fight at the end that felt like, well, he is very strong, but you would think that it might have taken like, I don't know, a chapter of the manga or the manga to finish up, and it didn't. It just kind of wrapped up. So this is an isekai, as you can tell by the fact that he was reincarnated. But our main guy isn't super overpowered. He suffers an injury fighting a monster, and then suddenly remembers, hey, oh shit, I had a previous life at some point. I don't know what happened there, but I definitely, lived a different life than this one. So that changes him fundamentally as a soldier. It allows him to have a different perspective. Again, it does not make him a super soldier, but he is very strong. And it is a relatively realistic fight, wartime battles. There are, he's got weird proclivities in that he has a mansion, and his mansion does have a giant snake that he raised, which occasionally captures assassins, which is pretty fun. Your plastic model building, nice, enjoy. The next thing that we're working on this stream, once we finish this kit, which might be tonight, might be the next time I build, we do have a model kit on deck, the Gundam Rose from G Gundam, the premium Bandai kit that came out this year. That is up next because I want to build it. So that's coming up soon. Oh, we can put Nedry in here. We can put Dennis in the car. So we'll do that next. The Bunny Fiend is following. Thanks, the Bunny Fiend. Thank you so much for dropping all those subscriptions. Gift subs. Had to give you a gift sub. Least I could do for putting the drop in there. The wild drop. Least I could do. We'll share the love a little bit. And then also we're now at a nice even number of 140 instead of 139. Wild. But thanks for the follow, Bunny Fiend. All right, so let's build the nice little set that goes with this. When I reincarnated, I was a soldier. I don't know. It was good. I would have kept reading it. I liked that it was a little bit more natural, even if there were some monsters. It was mostly about war being shitty and internal conflicts, and uh, his fiance, who was just like a weird little lady that really liked making like gear for him. He's part of the reason he's the red Shinigami is because she made a red uniform for him. Uh, and she was just like nice and weird, and I appreciated her. Um, it was overall fine. I would describe it as totally fine. Uh, and I was kind of surprised that it ended. But like I said, even though it felt rushed, it did have a conclusion. Um, and it is brutal. And that is the thing that a lot of people don't like about Isekai is that a lot of people feel like Isekai traditionally is just a very easy, like, chill ride. Ah, you want the full mechanics, Kenbu. We have built a regular high-grade Kenbu, obviously not the full mechanics one. Yeah, that's a fun kit. I like the full mechanics line. You know, I'm a fan of that line. Um, that is a fun enough line there. All right, then we need. Where do you go? So two, you go here. Yeah, we're building just a little bit of a fun signpost here. We're not gonna, this isn't the full set. We're getting like the bridge and the gate and all that. This is just a little bit of scenery here to help flesh out the scene we're building. And then what's this there? All right. The other manga that I want to talk to y'all about is a story about a burgeoning love at a convenience store. This is a short subject, kind of mini comic. It is very few pages per chapter. I don't remember the exact number of pages, but it's less than you would think in a normal manga. So it is telling the short story pretty quickly. This is a lovely little series about two adults kind of like falling in love with each other, or at the very least, deciding they really like each other and they would like to start dating. There is an age gap, but it's like she's in college and he's in a teacher, and she works at a convenience store. And so one is older than the other, but it is not by a lot of years, and it doesn't feel exploitative or weird. It's very cute. He's a teacher of little kids, and it's very clear that he loves that work. We don't know what she's going to be doing what she wants to do after university, but right now she is working at the convenience store, and it's a thing where like he stops in and there's like this kind of like, oh, what's going on there? Oh, what's going on there? And they got this kind of like connection, and it's very fucking cute, and it's very nice and fun to read. And so I would say that, like, if you are looking for a very adorable, lovely little manga series, I would say you can't go wrong with a story about a burgeoning love at a convenience store. I think it's just like a lovely little series that is totally worth your time and attention. Yeah, it's just cute and fun. I'm always excited when there's another chapter to check out. And I can't say that about everything I read, because I read a lot of manga and manhwa, and some of it is just boring as fuck, and sometimes it's exciting and cool. Okay, let's see. Keep working on that. And so that is the manga that I want to talk about on this fine Manga Monday. But there's more to chat about as we get nearing completion of this Lego set. I want to tell you about Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead, one of my favorite shows this season. A huge surprise. A show that I was like, oh, that kind of sounds fun. I'm totally engrossed in. Last week was supposed to be episode 5, but they ended up postponing it for a week last minute. And that paid off because, holy shit, this episode had a lot going on in it. It makes sense to me that they were like, that they needed more time with it, because there were a lot of fight scenes and a lot of nonsense. Okay, so they find out the zombie apocalypse is here, right? and our main guy, Akira, has a list of things he'd like to do before he dies. He's got a bucket list. So this is the things he wants to do now that he doesn't have to go to his job anymore, because that society is fucked and he's just about survival with his best friend. So Kencho is like, hey, it looks like some of the that Hokkaido is isolated, and there are various places that seem okay, and Akira's family is from Gunma, I should say, and he's like, they might be okay if they're there. So that's kind of the idea is, hey, maybe we'll go there. But also, there's something on the bucket list that Akira really wants to get to as soon as possible, which is be a superhero and save the day. Now, he's also saved people's lives before, but he hasn't done it as a superhero. So it's off to the aquarium, which felt like a complete non sequitur, but there is a reason why they went to the aquarium. They go to the aquarium to get a shark costume. And you're like, what? And it's immediately explains why that they have a shark costume and use spray paint to make it into a superhero costume of a shark. Because the shark costume is meant for people to interact with sharks and survive being bit by a shark. So his idea is, well, I won't get bit by zombies if I'm in this, and it's kind of like a superhero costume. And it's not a good plan, but it does have more logic than most of the things that happen on this show. So I'll like, you know what? Fine. There's a bus full of survivors, and one person, of course, was bit, because of course they were. And everyone starts getting bitten, and there's one girl left who has not turned into a zombie, and she gets saved by our boy. And a bunch of other survivors that are around are all moving into the aquarium, as there are more zombies out there, including the girl from episode 2. And she immediately is just like, what are you doing? Like, she's immediately dismissive of our boy's brilliant idea of being a superhero and helping people when she just doesn't understand what's going on there. We got a fight scene. Akira again defeats some zombies. The girl is not impressed because she's just like, you'll never survive like this, even though he has somehow remarkably survived. And then there's more. They hear a banging noise in the aquarium, and you're like, oh, it's more zombies, right? And it is. It's a zombie shark, and the animation of this is incredible, and I totally understand why it took a while to do, why this episode came in late, because it's a lot of fucking work, because it looks really goddamn good, this goddamn zombie shark with people sticking out of it. So, of course, a bunch of people get attacked, and everyone's running. There's more zombies. The girl from episode 2 gets pushed over and separated from the group running away by the girl who survived the bus. Ain't that shit? That's some shit right there. So then Akira goes and tries to help the girl, and eventually also Kencho ends up helping out, and they manage to defeat the shark with batteries by electrocuting it, and Akira crosses off being a superhero off his list, because he has now been a superhero, so he doesn't need that on the list anymore. And the girl just realized, like, oh, this will not work. This is hilarious how you and I will never work. It'll never work out because we're just completely incompatible in our views. She wants to travel. She wants to get somewhere safe. But she does give Akira her contact information from her phone. So that's nice. And that's something that Akira has been looking for. Remember, he's also looking to fall in love. That is on his list. And the episode ends with Akira and Kencho planning to head to Gunma to look for his family, to see if they're there and they survived. And again, good episode. Good bit of business. Well done. Why is this? Oh. Like, well plotted episode. I liked it. I can totally understand why why they had to work hard on that, and then it took like an extra week, especially if there was, as mentioned or as believed to be, there might have been an outbreak of COVID in that studio, which is why they needed more time on the episode. But it worked out great because it's a good episode. And then this kid is done. Holy shit, this is done here, friends. We'll break this box down so that I can recycle the box. But yeah, I thought I'd finish this kit up on Thursday. I did not realize that I would finish it today. There are other Jurassic Park sets that I can get. This one is, to me, the most interesting one. That's not true. Obviously, I'm going to go on Amazon.com. I'm going to look to see what Jurassic Park stuff they have. And we're going to see if they have the Jurassic Park Lego that I actually want. Jurassic Park Lego. We're going to see. Oh, God, it's $50. Why is it $50? I know it's $50. The Lego set that I do want is the one where it's the one that has poop. It's the one that has a giant dinosaur poop. That's the one I want. It's $50. It's got a huge dinosaur in it. It's the one I want. Let's see. Can I save this image? Yeah. All right. I'm going to add this image here. Look, I don't have to explain myself to you. You understand. You at home. You know why I would want that. Why I would need this. Look at it. That vehicle is cool. This dinosaur is huge. But look at this. Of course I want that. It's $50 on Amazon. I'm not going to buy that. It's 281 pieces, which is not that many pieces. Bunny Fiend just cheered 5,000 bits saying, get the one that you want. So I'm gonna buy the expensive dinosaur. I'm gonna get it. I'll get it. Yeah. All right. We're gonna say that is from my wish list, even though I did not get added to my wish list. We're gonna say this was from my wish list, because Bunny Fiend cheered specifically for me to get this, so I'll get it. It's locked in. Yeah, we'll do. When you cheer, I press the cha-ching noise. All right, so look forward to that on a future stream, because I'm going to purchase that after the stream's over. I'm going to go to Amazon and pick that up, and that'll be a future build thanks to Bunny Fiend, who just donated money specifically for that. So I'm now honor bound to get that, and I will. So I'll buy that after the stream is over, and that'll be the next thing that I work on after whenever I get that, when it's the next time for me to build something, that'll be on deck. We are going to start something new tonight, the Gundam Rose, and then we'll that'll be the next thing that I'm working on, the Gundam Rose high grade, and then when that is completed, the next thing I'll build after that will, of course, be this other Lego set, because that's the least I could do. So let's get this posed in a fun way here. Gotta go to the East Docks here. But got ourselves a dinosaur. Dinosaurs. There's dinosaurs here. So we gotta take a photo of this lovely setup here. So let's get a photo going, and then we'll we'll check out the Gundam rows. So let's see here. Got our vehicle here, there. Yeah. Just put the dyno like that. There we go. Looks good. And then might as well here. We can turn the head around to the, oh no, I've been sprayed head. Then we can just we'll set up a little scene here. Yeah. They make that easy to remove, which is nice. Freaked out. Little man. Oh yeah, we'll just do the knocked over. Can't see where he's going because of that. Great. We staged a little photography here, which is fun. They set that up on purpose so you can knock over the sign, which I think is fun. Okay. I am going to hit the Be Right Back screen because I have to go and grab the next kit because I didn't think we would finish this tonight. So give me 1 second to go and get that. Talk you through it here, blah, blah. Gotta go and reach for this. Gotta reach it. Reach and grab it. Found it. Here we go. Place that there. All right. Come back, and it's the Gundam Rose. The Gundam Rose is the next thing we're going to building. This is a premium Bandai kit, as I said. Oops. Go. Go. Okay. So this is the Gundam Rose High Grade from G Gundam. This is the first high grade kit from that series to come out that is not the God Gundam or the the Rising Gundam, the Shining Gundam, I should say. It's wild that this came out at all. It's a premium kit, which I know some people really despise the premium kits because they just want them to be out and available for everyone, which I understand and totally sympathize with. I understand that we would not, if this was not a premium kit, we would not get it. That I just don't think that this would exist in stores because I don't think it would be as popular. Now, do I want them to make more G Gundam kits and put out more G Gundam kits for everybody? Of course I do. Of course I want that. I want a modern noble Gundam. I want the Sailor Scout Gundam with like a new design, like a Witcher Mercury style, no polycap, very few stickers style design. I think that would be rad as hell. I don't know if we're going to get that, but it would be it would be fantastic to get something like that. We got a lovely blue color here, the clear color for our beam sabers, looking real good. I am just kind of organizing things here, organizing it as best I can. Trying to get all this together here. But we'll barely get started with this, but we do have some time left in the stream, so I did want to look at that. But yeah, this just looks gorgeous. These are, the year on this is 2023. This was from the second batch of them that went out. This wasn't the first batch, this was the second. There's no difference. I just didn't get this when it first came out because it sold out immediately. Also, for this kit, we do have an included stand, one of their included stands, and it is the clear blue, which is obviously fucking fantastic. Rad as hell. Also, wait, is this a no polycap kit? It is. This is a no polycap kit. I didn't even realize that. Oh, that's awesome. So this kit doesn't have any polycaps. It's all going to be parts. No rubberized parts, the polycaps. I did not know that, and that's fantastic. But yeah, I can't wait to make the stand for this kit with this lovely clear blue, and then probably use it for another kit instead, or a backup, because I don't know if I'm going to be displaying this. I could pop out the God Gundam and display this kit instead. But, no color on the instruction book, because of course this is a premium Bandai kit, and they skimp out on that. That's where they save some money by it just being a whatever kit. And I know some people hate that as well. And I understand why they don't like it. I don't love it, but it's fine. So yeah, we'll get a little bit of this kit done. We're not going to get too deep into it. I did not talk about Sweet Reincarnation. This episode, Sweet Reincarnation. The major events in this anime, we'll just get into that because we don't have a lot of time left in stream. Licorice is saved, and the captain of the mercenaries is defeated. It is tied that let's see, what is the guy's name? Squall and Petra's engagement is made public. The guy that set all this in motion, the kind of fallen nobleman, he's arrested because they have evidence that he set this up. But meanwhile, Pastry meets with Caloric, the father, and he's just like, okay, you set this up. You gave information out. You wanted to see this guy that you were against. You wanted to see him defeated, but you put people at risk. And you just got lucky that everything worked out. And then he gets Pastry, ends up getting some land set up to keep him silent. But then our boy, who is, a reincarnation and is kind of on the ups with everything and like smart for his age, we finally see him get a little flustered because he doesn't anticipate the idea of, all right, what about marrying Licorice, the other daughter? Because Licorice is interested in Pastry because, he saved her life twice. So, yeah. So he gets manipulated into getting engaged. And he's like, all right, I guess, okay. And then it's very cute because she knows that he likes to make sweets. So she makes some cookies for him. And she's like, yeah, these are good. He's like, yeah, these are great. And he forces himself to eat them because, of course, she used salt instead of sugar. And they don't taste good. So this episode gave us the bait and switch of, well, there is going to be cooking in this episode. Again, this is a pastry chef who gets reincarnated and just never has time to actually do any pastry chefing and make anything because he is constantly dealing with fighting people and all this other stuff. He's constantly dealing with eventually being the lord of an area and dealing with all kinds of stuff and having to do action and using his cheat abilities to his own benefit. So there was cooking in this episode, but he didn't do it. Instead, it was his fiance, which is fun. Also, the fight scene at the beginning was good. This anime doesn't have a lot of fight scenes, but they take their time with all of them, and I think it turns out pretty great. It is, I would say, totally decent little fight scenes. He won easily in that fight because he manipulated the sword with magic, like ahead of time. He was like, while they were captive before they fought, he's just like, yeah, I cheated. I'm a kid. I gotta win. I gotta beat an adult. Mercenary head. Of course I'm gonna use my magic to make his sword all fucked up. It's smart. Let's see. Yeah. That's about it for those episodes. And now's the part of the stream where I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching? What are you playing? What's got you going these days? Are there any video games that have your attention? You watching anything? You've been to the movies this weekend? You watching anything on TV? You reading any books? What's going on with y'all? I want to hear from you about that. For me, you know the drill at this point. Relaxing with Mars First Logistics even though it's not that relaxing of a video game, but I still really enjoy it. Playing Hearthstone every day. I have a couple new decks that I've been enjoying in Hearthstone. There are a few new cards from this expansion that work really well with a previous expansion deck that I had built in Wild, where you just make a lot of 8/8s out of nowhere on like turn 5, or yeah, the setup turn is turn 5, and then on turn 6 you just fill the board with 8/8s, and it's pretty great. It's not a good deck, but it's a very fun deck, so I play that. I've been playing that a lot, and I like having a mage deck that's fun. A couple new death rattles that are good for my my death rattle rogue deck, and I have 2 shaman decks that are fun. 2 cheat shaman decks that cheat in different ways. I'm enjoying that quite a bit, my friends. That has been quite the good time over on Hearthstone. And I haven't played Diablo 4 in a while. I'm going to get back into Diablo 4 soon. But yeah, I just haven't really felt the need to really dive into that fully. But I am planning to get back in there and play more of that soon. Just really haven't. Let's see. What else have I been playing that maybe I'll want to tell everybody about? My D&D crew met again. So we've had 2 sessions of our D&D crew. It has been fun. I have been enjoying it with our new GM and a new story. And yeah, my elemental like dwarf is fun. Playing a tank as like a dwarf is a druid is a weird thing. But yeah, I just make big friends that take damage. And it's systems that I'm not the most familiar with. And that's been a fun challenge. But because my guy is like so kind of like happy-go-lucky and pretty chill, he's just like a mountain dwarf, like a chill mountain dwarf. It's a good explanation for why I'm like, if I'm ever like stumbling, I just go, oh, sorry guys. Oh, sorry everybody. I got lost there for a second. What do we need to do? I just kind of play him not super stoned, but a little stoned. He's a little out of it. And that has worked out well so far. It has been so far pretty damn enjoyable. All right, so this goes like this. Again, when working on a kit like this, I'm slow on the first half, and then the second half I kind of pick up the pieces as I start to understand more about what the kit wants from me, and I start understanding the instructions better. I'm going to read what y'all have been writing. Dirty says, playing Final Fantasy 16. Final Fantasy 14. Closing in on Endwalker. Watching Babylon 5 Season 1. Hell yeah. And keeping an eye on the Games Workshop site for new Space Dwarf kit pre-order to drop. Ooh, nice. And then Lashbrook says, I also started watching B5 Season 1. Babylon 5. That is a strange thing that both of you are Babylon 5 in. I'm a big fan of Babylon 5 because it's real weird. It's a real weird space opera that I enjoy quite a bit. I think fondly on Battlestar. I don't know if it holds up, but let me know how you're liking it as you start to watch it. Lord Crash says, I'm near the end of Persona 4. Lord Crash has been rewatching the Giant Bomb Persona 4 Endurance run. Heard a lot of guitar clacking in the background, episode 149, so I went and read the comments of the video to see the 4 people that aren't arguing about whether they're going to do the true ending to ask if Ryan's playing Guitar Hero or a rock band. Oh, okay. So yeah, there's some definite music instrument stuff happening in the background. That's fun. And yes, those comments were full of people who are like, why aren't they doing it like this? Why aren't they merging their personas more and doing this stuff? And why are they still using You know, like if they want ice, they should go with Teddy, and like just like really not understanding that they were not reading the comments and that we're not going to take feedback like that. Like I just don't understand why they aren't optimally playing the game. Like why aren't they using a guide to play the game, and why aren't they looking at comment? And it's like because they don't want to. They want to have fun. Persona 3's true ending is way better. Yeah. I mean, as long as they didn't get the bad ending in Persona 4, like who cares? Like they're not gonna do Margaret's, like, you know what I mean? Like they're not gonna go and do Margaret's bonus stage or whatever. Like it's just like nah. Like that just feels like ridiculous to even ever assume that they would try to optimally do it. I can't wait for them to do Persona 5 soon. I finished up rewatching Rebels. Oh yeah, and wasn't really feeling anything, and I know people are doing a group watch, so I said, why not? Okay. And started Babylon 5. Okay, yeah. I was about to say, I'm like, that can't be a third person. I was like, no, Lastbrook is the person saying that you were also watching it. I was like, all right, great. I thought there was a moment there, because I'm getting a little tired tonight. Apologies. Yard work caught up with me. Really takes it out of me, unfortunately, because of my allergies. For a second there, I thought a third person was also watching Babylon 5, and that would not make sense to me. That would not compute if a third person was like, yeah, I'm also checking out Babylon 5. Like, it can't be that, like, I mean, anything is possible. That just feels highly improbable. Dirty says, I added the complete series of B5 to my wish list. Nice. Yeah. Like I said, I really enjoyed it at the time. I thought it was very fun and a lot of twists and turns, and there's some big reveals there were reveals that felt like, oh, they've been planning this for a long time, and I was not used to that when it comes to sci-fi like that. Obviously, some retrofitting of some things and some understanding of like, oh, okay, actually this meant that because now we can go and make that feel that. But even at the time, it felt special. There felt like something going on. Something was going on with that series, that they were trying some things that was really unique and interesting. It really did feel like it was really plotted out, which for an epic like that was surprising at the time that it was so plotted out. Yeah, thanks, Lord Crash. Did. I don't remember. Couldn't tell you. But yes, Lord Crash did. He was like, "Oh, I'm watching Babylon 5 too." No, you're not. Great. Good. Hey, my bonus stream tomorrow, my not model kit building stream or Lego building stream is tomorrow, and I think you should come hang out. We're closing the book on Pokemon Platinum Randomizer. That's right. We're gonna beat the 8th gym. We gotta talk with the professor first. We're gonna go to the 8th gym and beat the 8th gym because I don't think we're gonna do. We're not gonna do anything beyond that. Having every gym badge to me is finishing the game because I don't think it will be interesting to watch me get to the Elite Four and then maybe beat the Elite Four. So tomorrow's stream is talk to the professor and then go to the final city and then beat that gym leader. And then we'll have 8 gym badges. And I feel like that's the end of then we'll say goodbye to Pam and the crew. Dave too and the rest. But I think getting to defeating the last gym is our completion of that game will be that. So that is what we're going to do tomorrow. And I think you should come watch that stream with me because it'll be fun. Speaking of streams, we are of course going to raid. That is how we end every stream around here. Kind of bummed about Am I the Strongest getting bumped again this week. They got a bad time slot, it seems. I am not watching that because I didn't really enjoy the manga. Something about, even though he does stuff, just like the idea that he just wants to be a NEET, but only does things because his sister wants him. Like, I don't know. There's just something about Am I the Strongest that just never sit right with me. But since you like it, I wish, or you're watching it, I wish you did get to see more episodes and they didn't keep getting bumped. That's a shame. Mary Kish isn't streaming tonight since it's over 100 degrees over there, so she's going to try another day this week. Oh, nice. Thank you, Lord Crashid, for the update about the Mary Kish update. But we are going to find somebody who is streaming because somebody else must be out there doing that. We're going to find out who that is. Let's go see who's streaming. What just happened here? What happened here? We got a new follow. Thank you for the follow, Huevos Le, or Huevos Lee. Huevos Lee is probably the actual name. Thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate that. All right. Who should we raid? Let's see. Is Jason still streaming this late? How long has he been going? I don't know how long Jason is going to be streaming for. But we're going to go raid Bad Gunpla. We never get to raid Jason because Jason usually wraps up before we start. Jason raids us. We don't raid him. So we're going to go raid Bad Gunpla. This will be nice. It'll be a nice time to do that. So let's go give Jason a raid. And we can repay the favor. It's his stream anniversary. It's his affiliate anniversary, I believe. So we'll go celebrate with him. Please come along on this raid for more Gunpla action and good conversation because he's got a great community. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, we're finishing the fight with Pokemon Platinum Randomizer. We'll stay late if we have to on that stream. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Thank you so much, Bunny Fiend. Appreciate it very much. And have a great night, everybody. Goodbye.